So it is lecture number 31, and here I will talk about joint PDF and further application of joint PDF. That means if you at hand you are having joint PDF, then what kind of thing you can do and what kind of problem you can solve. That problem solution approach you will see a lot here. And no worry, if joint PDF is not given, then I told that with the help of multiplication rule, by knowing PDF of one variable and conditional PDF of another variable based on condition on the first variable, you can get joint PDF as well. So computation of joint PDF, it looks easy through multiplication, but suppose in most of cases easily you come up with joint PDF or it would be given to you. Okay, so if you that scenario is there, then how we can proceed with? Okay, otherwise you can approach that IID situation, that I will talk in next module. What is IID situation? It is independent and identically distributed, and it is helping a lot in case of sampling approach. That thing we will discuss in next module. Okay, so coming to outline of today's lecture, first I would like to discuss about the jointly continuous random variable, and how we can describe a jointly continuous random variable. We can describe it a joint probability density function. Then if we are having a joint probability density function, can we go to get back our marginal density function and conditional density function? So those things we will talk. Okay, so here in case of jointly continuous random variable, I will talk various events. So that in case of random variable, you had already seen that we define event in term of random variable. Okay, so similar feature will also come in case of jointly continuous random variable. We will define various type of events related to jointly continuous random variable, and then we'll talk about probability of those events, okay, with the help of joint PDF. And after that, if time permits, then I will go to talk about independency of any two random variable, continuous random variable, whether there is a dependency or independency. We will see it through various derivation of what we call it marginal PDF and conditional PDF. There are various ways to define independency of any two continuous random variable. So one is coming directly from conditional PDF, another one is directly coming from joint PDF. So those things we will discuss, and probably in next class we will discuss about function of jointly continuous random variables and the associated derived distribution. That means here we are talking about function of jointly continuous random variable, and hence definitely what will happen, that we are getting derived. Simply we can say that derived random variable as a function of several variable, and if you are having such kind of scenario, then we need to talk about distribution of those function of several variable. So that distribution we will call it derived distribution. And here with the help of what we call it vector calculus, easily we can compute all those things, or calculus of several variable. Through that we can easily calculate all those things. So my suggestion would be that prior to this class, that means next class, you come up with the revision of calculus of several variable, because Jacobian and other things will come here in form of what matrices will come here. So that's why you have to revise those things. So coming to first part of this lecture, that here I will talk about, before going to first part, in last lecture I had covered conditional PDF. So I will take one interesting example from conditional PDF, an application of conditional PDF in order to calculate the conditional PDF and conditional CDF and conditional expectation and conditional various things would be there. So that's why I have taken this course in order to just complete the last lecture. So question is coming like this way. So here question is that there would be one random variable with given distribution. There we have to find conditional PDF, then conditional CDF, then conditional expectation, then conditional variance. All four types of conditional things we have to find it with respect to given random variable. So suppose random variable is coming like this way. Suppose x is exponentially distributed with parameter 1, lambda equal to 1 here, parameter it is given. Okay, then this is was given random variable. That means we know the distribution of that random variable. So with that random variable, we have to find first conditional PDF, then conditional CDF. Then you will ask what is the event through which we are putting conditioning. The event is given is like that, a event is that such that x is observing value greater than 1. So this we are calling it event. It is given event or partial information that given to us. So you can name this event a is such that random variable x is observing value greater than 1. Okay, so this is given event. So we are introducing conditioning how? By condition on this event a. That means we are able to observe this event a. Okay, after that we will find conditional expectation x given a, conditional variance x given a. So all these we have to find it here. So here first we need to define this event in a systematic form. So I told that whenever you are defining event in case of random variable, we always express that in term of random variable. So this event a is defined as that x random variable x is observing value greater than 1. So if you are having this event, then easily also we are aware of density of the corresponding random variable. So using density of corresponding random variable, easily we can calculate probability of this event. So probability of this event, it is talking about what? It is saying that probability of this event, what it would be? It would be simply probability that x is observing value greater than 1. That means right tail probability. That means simply what you do, you need to integrate the density function from 1. It is starting from 1, it will go up to infinity. And what is the density function of this exponential random variable? Here lambda equal to 1, so density function would be simply exponential of e to the power it is exponential of negative x, so e to the power minus x. Simply integrate this one. After integrating, what value you will get? Your value would be 1 by e. So this is the probability of the event a, given event a. Now based on this event a, we are defining this conditional probability. So I told that the original density under the umbrella of what we call it conditional definition of conditional density, the original density would be normalized by the corresponding probability of the event. Okay, so and that probability is coming 1 by e. So that's way the conditional density would be e to the power minus x plus 1. This is conditional density condition on a, and it is taking only for those value which are coming from a. If you are taking value outside a, then this conditional density it would be 0, because in the definition of conditional probability in numerator, you might have already seen the joint probability. So here when you will get condition non-zero value of conditional density, when it will talk about joint occurrence of x and a, that time it would be non-zero, otherwise it would be 0. So that's where this scenario is coming. So we have already computed conditional density of x given a as well. So now onward we will do everything whatever is required. So first job is already done. We have already calculated conditional PDF. Now next we will calculate conditional CDF, and then we will calculate conditional expectation, then we will calculate conditional variance. So all these calculations are happening like this way. So very simple to find conditional CDF. What it is, just talking about probability up to x condition on a. So just apply the definition of here we have expressed this conditional CDF in terms of probability, this conditional probability. So recall the definition of conditional probability. It will say that this conditional probability is actually equal to ratio of joint probability x is observing value up to x and a divided by probability of a. Now further, what is a? A is saying that it is collection of value of x such that x is greater than 1. So that means all the observed values which are greater than 1. So here we are talking about joint probability of these two. So if you try to take it in together, what does it say? That means this joint event is taking value between 1 to x. So that's why it has been expressed like this way. Okay, it has been expressed like this way, and this is what event a. So we know the probability of this event a. What is that? It is 1 by e. So 1 by e we can substitute it here. So it will go to numerator, it becomes e. Now just our job is to find this probability. So how we can find this probability? We know the distribution. What is the distribution of this one? It is exponential e to the power minus x. PDF, we know that. So just we need to integrate it from where to where. So x is taking value between 1 to x, so that's why we need to integrate the PDF from 1 to x. So after integrating, what we are getting 1 minus e to the power minus x plus 1. Okay, so we can say that this is our desired conditional CDF, cumulative distribution function. We got the second solution of second problem as well. Now we will talk about third. So third is talking about that what conditional expectation. So just blindly go to define definition of conditional expectation. What does it say? That means we are finding conditional expectation of x given a. So what we have to do, we have to multiply x with corresponding conditional density of x given a, and need to integrate from minus infinity to infinity. That is the definition of conditional expectation, and we have already calculated this conditional density, so we will substitute it here. Just do integration and you will come to see that conditional expectation of x given a, it is taking value 2. Okay, similarly we can calculate second conditional moment in order to calculate variance. So you calculate, because it is relatively easier to calculate second moment than variance. So directly we are calculating second moment like x square given a, and if you simplify it is coming as 5. So now we know that what is the definition of variance. It is always talking about difference of second moment and a square of first moment. So what is the value of second moment, second conditional moment? That one is 5, we have already calculated. And what is the value of second moment? That one is first. What is the value of first moment, conditional moment? That one is 2. So we are doing a squaring, so that's why our desired variance, it would be 5 minus 4, that means equal to 1. So we got all those value with respect to this exponentially distributed random variable with parameter 1. So we got all these conditional things. So it was just overview of the last lecture, what we had already discussed. Everything, most of problem came here in this given example. So now we will focus on next part of that. That one is we are talking about jointly continuous random variable. So what is happening, that if you are taking a random experiment, in random experiment you will see various kind of what we call it random variables, various random variables. That means depends upon many situations in which way you want to define. So there are various functions simply you can. So simply if you try to see from the functional perspective, and that means if you are performing an experiment, then you are getting in after that you are getting a sample space. Over the sample space you can define various function. You can define various functions. So each function, so if you define in a continuous fashion, then it would be what various random variable you will get. Simply I would like to say that in a single experiment you can define various random variable. So that is the situation. So among those various we will talk about joint occurrence of few random variable. So here suppose we say that random variable x and y are jointly continuous if the probability of event which is involving x and y jointly can be expressed as a integral of joint probability density function of x and y. Joint probability density, remember that joint probability density function of x and y. That means what does it say? That there exists a non-negative function that we are calling it joint density function f of xy, and it is defined over the real plane, because here we have taken only two random variable. So that's why if you are taking two random variable in together, then that will what, it will span out one plane. That plane here, that plane would be a real plane, and if you are taking any subset from that plane, that would be an event of this jointly continuous random variable. That would be, if you are taking any subset, that would be an event. Okay, so it would simply, I would like to say that event in case of jointly continuous random variable, it happens to be a subset of a plane. So we need to calculate probability of that event. How? So by integrating this non-negative function, what we are calling it joint PDF, over that region, from which x and y is taking value jointly, x and y are taking value jointly. So over that region, if you integrate the density function, then we will get what desired probability of that event. So geometrically, if you are willing to visualize, so here x is taking along this axis and y is taking along this vertical axis. Okay, sorry, y is taking along this one but this is again this planar axis, and it this particular one is not y. You can set it z, you can express it z, or you can express it actually what is happening, it is coming with respect to density. Density, you can say that f of xy, joint density f of xy. So you can see that here density function, it is actually defining a surface over this plane, xy plane. This is x axis, this one is, it will go up to a y axis. Okay, so over so simply density is a what, it is a surface over xy plane, and we need to suppose we are just focusing on in such a way joint random variable is taking value over here, over this region. Then how we can get probability of that one? By integrating this is f joint this surface over only this region in order to get probability of this one. What is the probability of this one? So that means the probability here, it is just equivalent to, you can say that this volume, it is talking about the volumetric measure of geometrically, you can visualize this probability is equal to this volume. So we'll see various type of event in case of jointly continuous random variable. So consider two dimensional random variable. That means if you are taking two random variable jointly, then we can also say that if you are taking this x and y jointly, we can say that it is actually a two dimensional random variable. And here if you go individually to do those argument x and y, you can see that, we can see regarding x and y that x and y both are jointly continuous. We can say that jointly continuous. So how we can define event? So suppose one event is, we are defining that x and x plus y is taking value less than equal to 10. Event always will be expressed in term of x and y together. And another event, we are defining it that minimum value of x and y is less than equal to 5. Another event, we are defining that x square plus y square is less than equal to 100. So this event is talking about this region in this xy plane, where we can see that easily what is name of this line, name of this line, you can say that, remember that it is we are writing here capital letter in order to signify that x and y are random variable. It is, these are not deterministic. One, a specific value of x we will denote it by small x, one a specific value of y we will denote it by small y. In that case it would be deterministic, but when you are talking about random, so that's why capital letter is coming. So what is name of this equation? Name of this equation is x plus y equal to 10. And this event is talking about less than equal to 10, x plus y less than equal to 10. So what is that region? That region is this one, this region. Easily you can say that, regarding if someone is having any issue regarding what identifying which one is the lower, simply you can say that it is lower half space, lower half space, and this one is upper half space. So upper half space, it is always talking about the region towards or along normal to the hyperplane. So this, so if you try to draw the this line in the parametric form, that means equation would be like this way, w transpose x plus uh, omega naught equal to 0. In parametric form, what we are calling it, it would be, and what is here, omega is talking about normal vector, it is talking about normal vector. So it is always away from, it is coming like this way, you come from origin, it is going like this way. So this is the direction of omega. So you can always identify what is the direction of omega. So if you take region, half region which is along the omega, then that we are calling it positive part, and which is against, opposite to the direction of omega, that we are calling it lower half. This one is lower half space, and here the event is defined by lower half space. That one is simply, you can take it from linear algebra. I had already explained, there. Now we are talking about second event. What does it talk about? It is saying that minimum value of x y is less than equal to 5. That means it is talking about this region. minimum of x y less than equal to 5. Now if you talk about third event, it is talking about that x square plus y square is less than equal to 10. That means we are having a circular region with radius 10. Radius is 10. So this one is the event. So these are the event in case of jointly continuous random variable. That means we are having two random variable and we are defining a jointly continuous random variable. Now further we will talk about event with various form. So one event we can talk about in the product form. That means if things are in product form, then simply we can say that the associated random variable x and y might be independent to each other. Later you will see that the independent picture is coming. That's why you are getting a form representation. So this is product form representation. Easily if you see in 2D plane, then we are taking two axes, x-axis and y-axis. So x-axis is always independent of y-axis. There is no dependency. Always we see that x-axis is independent of y-axis in R2. What if you are in R2? That's why easily we can write in product form. So if you are taking this rectangular strip, then we can say that here x is observing value between x1 to x2. This point is x1. This point is x2, and y is observing value what up to y1. Okay, up to y2 it is given, and lower part is not given. So starting from negative infinity to up to y2, you can say that. So that is the situation. In that process you are getting this event. This event you can write in the product form. So in Cartesian product form, or also you can, it is already written in this form, or you can write in Cartesian product form like this way. uh, uh, you call it what is this one? This one is x is observing value, that random variable which is taking value along horizontal axis, observing value between x1 and x2 cross Cartesian product we are defining, that is product for cross. Y is observing value. You can put lower limit, but it is not mentioned. There is no, if you are not putting by default, it would be what, minus infinity would be lower value, and upper value is y2. So this is the product form what we are writing. So this can be written in this product form. This is definitely, this one is an event in plane. It is one kind of event in plane which is written in product form. If you talk about this event, it is talking about bounded region. This rectangle, it is talking about bounded region. Again we can see that x is taking value between x1 and x2, and here y is taking value between y1 and y2. Here y is taking value between y1 and y2. So we can say that this one also can be expressed as a product of in a product form we can express. That means x1 is y1 is y is taking value between y1 and y2, and x is taking value between x1 and x2. So very symmetric situation here we are getting it. And what is the uh, benefit of this kind of representation? I told that it is the situation when we are talking about independent random variable x and y both happens to be independent to each other, then we will get this kind of situation. And this here we can say that how we can express this one as a product. So easily we can see that here x is taking value. Anyone can express in the single form this. Anyone just suggest how we can express this event in the product form? What would be condition over x times what would be condition over x times condition over y? So condition over of y is very simple. Y is taking value between y1 and y2. So anyone would like to comment what would be inequality that would be associated with x? Anyone would like to comment over it? It is very simple kind of things. You all have prepared for IIT JEE. Definitely you might be aware of how to play with inequality in mathematics problem. Anmol, do you know what would be the equation of the inequality associated with x in third plot? If you know, try to answer it. Otherwise definitely I will answer it. Yes, one. Yeah, just try to put in single format. You know that actually, you know, but right now unable to recall that. Don't know. It is very simple. These are actually, you should aware of all these. Put here modulus of x and put it greater than x1. This is the unified approach of expressing that x is taking value greater than x1 and x is taking value less than minus x1. If you solve, if you are solving this one, what would be this? So it is talking about modulus of x is greater than equal to x1. So simply it will simplify that x1, anyhow x is greater than, if x is positive then x would be greater than x1. If x is negative, if x is negative, then it would be, x would be less than negative of x1. It would be less. So it is talking about like this way. That is the, so I just put this one in the single format, unique format. So that is the event. Okay, again we can see it is in product form. So all these are talking about independent random variable x and y. We are taking jointly in together we are taking. So very simple kind of situation. It is very simple kind of event. So I had expressed all these things. So I will talk about another things, that if suppose such situation is not possible, and that means there are many events where we don't observe independencies, and then what we do, we are having at hand very interesting kind of approach that we are calling it discretization. Through discretization we can approximate event in product form. We do approximation. So that non-product, so simply we are calling it events with non-product form. So in this case, suppose we are having an event a, this suppose this lower half a space. So this line definitely it will have name. In last case we had already seen that x plus y equal to 10, and suppose we don't know here this value, so we call it a, x plus a equal to a, x plus y equal to a. So, okay, so with respect to that we are getting this lower half a space as an event. Lower half space minus, only h minus would come. So this one, okay. So you can see that there is a continuum pattern. So we can't see that, we can't express this one in the term of product form. So in order to express in the product form, we are applying partition of the x. We are partitioning, we are applying partition of the x. In that process also there would be partition of y. So we are approximating this up to this, it is going up to this one, but we try to approximate this region by this rectangular strip. This region we try to approximate by this rectangular region. So we are seeing that due to approximation this one is error, we are unable to cover this one. So how we can cover this one? If you do refinement, if you do refinement, then we can definitely cover. So that's why we are saying that ak, it is if we try to make it arbitrarily fine, then it becomes what very much near to the near, it will give a near result. What I would like to say that in discretization. So here even your event is not in nice form, product form, we can express approximately in product form by doing discretization. So that's where these two has been expressed in the discretization form. So through discretization we are getting approximate result. Okay, so all these were what events related with a jointly continuous random variable. Okay, now I will talk about joint PDF and how we can marginalize joint PDF and how we can we will apply conditioning. Okay, through that in order to get conditional PDF and marginal PDF, and we will take few problem as well. So suppose if f of xy, it is a joint PDF of any jointly continuous random variable x and y, then marginal PDF of x and conditional PDF of x and y we can define it follows here. So how we can get marginal PDF of x? We do marginalization with respect to y. That means we need to integrate the given PDF, joint PDF with respect to y, completely. That means we are integrating from minus infinity to infinity. In order to that, y will be exhausted and remaining thing would be just function of x, and hence we are getting marginal density of x. Likewise, also we will get marginal density of y. Once we are having marginal density of x and marginal density of y, just apply the definition of what conditional probability. Through that we can get conditional density of x. It would be what? It would be ratio of joint density divided by marginal density of y. Okay, similarly, conditional density of y given x, it would be ratio of joint density of x and y divided by marginal density of x. So this, all these are easily you can get it from given joint PDF. So I will take one example. There would be various example in various situations. So suppose John throws a dart at a circular target of radius r, and we assume that he always hits the target. That means whenever he is trying, that dart will go in the circular region. Okay, so in that process you are getting a circular region. Okay, complete circular region. So your density here, density, one more condition is given here, that all points of impacts are equally likely. That means uniform situation is there. That means density, you know about joint density function, that would be constant in that circular region. And if you talk about value of that joint density function outside region, it is 0. Why? Because John always throw dart at a circular region. John never throw dart outside circular region. That means there is no any observation of joint jointly continuous random variable outside circular region. Only you will observe value of jointly continuous random variable within this circular, on and within this circular region. You won't observe outside that. So that's why the joint density, it would be defined on the circular region only, within and on circular region. That means simply and one more, that equally likely situation, we will say that joint PDF would be distributed uniformly. That uniform distribution, it is constant throughout the circular region. Then what we have to do, we have to find the joint PDF first, then we have to find the marginal PDF, second question, then we have to find conditional PDF. Three questions are coming here. Very simple kind of, this one is the simplest question what I had taken here among the several questions. So first we need to find joint PDF. Since jointly distributed continuous random variable, it is uniformly distributed in the circular region of radius r. So we can say that the joint PDF, it is constant in the region, in the circular region. That simply C. And if you know that whether you like joint probability mass function, joint PDF is also satisfying three properties. What are those properties? Like first property, it says that joint PDF would be always non-negative. That means for any value of x, joint PDF would be greater than equal to 0. It can't be negative. Second property says that if you integrate joint PDF for all value of x and y, that means x varies from minus infinity to infinity, y varies from minus infinity to infinity, that means for all value of x or y, then it will satisfy the normalizing condition. That means integral would be 1. That condition we are calling it normalization condition. It is a function of it. Here we are taking two random variable, so that's why double integration will come equal to 1. Normalizing condition. Third condition is saying that if you are taking an event, definitely event, how it will be defined, it will, there would be some associated property. So that means it is the collection of all points such that, simply I will write in short form, such that uh, a is defined under certain form, the value of a which falls in this set, it will the random joint random variable, it will satisfy certain properties. So event, so with respect to that, if you are trying to calculate probability over this for this set, so how we can calculate, that means we can calculate the region in which this event is defined. We need to calculate integrate the joint density function over the region where this event is defined. That means the domain of the domain of the event, we have to integrate with respect to x and with respect to y. So with respect to y, both will come. Okay, so that is the, so these three property would come. So due to that, from here, using second property, that normalizing property, we know that this joint density is uniformly distributed. So we can say that it would be constant throughout the circular region. So we need to integrate over circular region. So what is the definition of circular region? That means it is circular region, it says that x square plus y square is less than equal to r square. This is the circular region. We are integrating the, what we call it, density function. That one is constant, so call it c times uh, dx dy equal to, what it would be, it would be equal to 1 due to normalizing condition. So what does it talk about? C is constant, it will come out, and that means you are just integrating dx dy within what we call it circular region. What does it mean? It means that it is talking about area of the circular region. That what is the area? Area is pi r square, and c times pi r square equal to 1. So from here you will derive that c equal to 1 by pi r square, uniformly distributed. So this, that's why density is 1 by pi r square when x square plus y square is less than equal to r square, and otherwise it is 0, because John is not hitting outside the circular region. So that's why there would be no any observed value of the jointly distributed random variable. Okay, jointly continuous random variable, there would be no observation outside the circular region. That's why density is 0. Only density you observe, uniform density within the circular region. Okay, so that's why you got the density, joint density. First job is done. Now we'll talk about second one. What does it talk about? It is asking to find marginal and what marginal density. So I told that how you can get marginal density of y. Just integrate the joint density with respect to x. Integrate it with respect to x. So again, here joint density, it is a constant, so it will come out of the integral 1 by pi r square. And if you talk about the limit of x is not varying from minus infinity to infinity completely. X is varying just from where to where. So we have to, it is just dependent limit it would be. So x will vary from where to where. It will vary from, if you try, this one is circular region. So x will vary. This is the entry point of x, this is the exit point of x. So what is name of this point? You can say that it is a square root of negative of a square root of r square minus y square. This one is positive of a square root of r square minus y square. Okay, so that's way you are getting the marginal density of y as what? This ratio, twice of r square minus y square divided by pi r square. This is the marginal density of y. Similarly, you can get marginal density of x, and marginal density of x would be what? It would be, due to symmetry, marginal density of x would be twice of a square root of r square, a square root of r minus a square root of x divided by pi r square. Okay, now after using the definition of conditional density as a ratio of joint density and the corresponding marginal density, we will get what we will get here, conditional density of x given y as well. So we can see that here, anyone can say that here conditional density here it should be function of x, but it is independent of x. We don't observe here x only. For each y we are getting this this is the formula of conditional density. So we can say that the conditional density is uniformly distributed. This density, marginal density of x is not uniformly distributed, because it is a function of x. It is coming as a function of x. But here if you see that in conditional density it is not function of x, it is constant. With respect to x it is constant. So we can say that conditional random variable is uniformly distributed here. Similarly, we can establish that conditional distribution of y given x, this would be also uniformly distributed. That's where there was one relation that what kind of nature joint distribution used to have, similar nature would be shared by the conditional distribution as well. So that's where here we know that the joint distribution is uniform, that means constant in the specified region. So similar nature would be what it would be with conditional distribution as well. So that's where it is coming. Now I will take another problem, that here we have to compute probability from the joint PDF. So suppose x and y are two jointly continuous random variable with the given probability density function, that it is taking positive density or non-negative density between 0 to 1. X and y both are 0 to taking value 0 to 1. So if you try to see, that means this density is defined in a very nice situation. That means where it is defined, it is defined in the product kind of what is the domain of this one, domain in which density is non-negative. So it is product, it is one square kind of things. It is in the first okay, here you can observe that this one is 0, this one is 0, this one is 1. So this is the domain in which density is, x is taking value along horizontal axis, y is taking value along vertical axis. So in this region, it is, you can see that the domain of f of xy, definitely it is complete plane, but outside this square density is 0. Outside this square density is 0, only positive non-negative density we observe over this square only. So that's where this one is meaningful to proceed with. So we are having this density. With the help of this density, we have to calculate two things. Here c is coming, here constant c is coming. We have to calculate first c by using normalization condition, and second we have to find this probability, this associative probability. That means when it is, you can say that it is one kind of event. What is event? Event say that x is observing value between 0 to 1 by 2, and y is observing value 0 to 1 by 2. So if you see what is 0 to 1 by 2, 1 by 2 would be here, and for x, and 1 by 2 would be here for y. So it is talking about just 1/4 of this rectangular region. So we are trying to calculate probability of this one over this 1/4, the value of xy which is observing value between this 1/4. What is the probability that we have to calculate it? So first we try to find c. So using the normalizing condition, it is directly coming from normalizing condition. So we need to integrate this x plus y, uh, x plus c times y square over the region minus infinity to infinity, minus infinity to infinity. But we know that x and y are observing f of xy observing value, non-zero value between 0 to 1 only in this rectangular region, or circular, what we call it, a square region. So that's where this integral, it would be just converted into 0 to 1, 0 to 1, and integration of x plus c times y square of dx dy. Here you don't need to apply change of variable concept, because here function is very nice and separated. So easily you can integrate. You can proceed with y, you can proceed with x. Whichever you find, you can proceed with it. There is no issue here. It is not affected by change of order of integration. It is not unaffected. So directly after integrating this one, you are getting value 1 by 2 plus c by 3, and that would be equal to 1 due to normalizing condition, and simplified through that simplification you are getting value of c, that one is 3 by 2. And if you substitute 3 by 2 here in this function, it becomes a proper density function. It will satisfy all the three conditions. Now coming to next question, that we are trying to find the probability that x is observing value between 0 to 0.5 and y is observing value between 0 to 0.5. That means we need to integrate the corresponding density function over from where to where, 0 to 0.5, 0 to 0.5 with respect to x and y. So after integrating, it is all about just this, calculating this double integration, and calculate this double integration values would be what, 3 by 32. So we got the probability as well. So this one was also very simplest kind of problem, one of the simplest kind of problem. Now third problem, it would be little bit tricky. So here again we are taking uh, again here we are taking x and y jointly continuous, random variable with joint PDF. It is coming like this way: c times x square y, where y is taking value between 0 to 1, and there is one more additional condition. So it is not taking complete a square. So we had in the last example we had a domain complete a square, but here there is a change in situation. Here in we are not taking a complete a square, we are just taking 50% of that. Okay, so take like this way, 50% of it. So this is the region where we observe y is less than equal to 1. So our density is non-zero only in this region, and outside this region density is 0. So we can find all these constant through normalizing factor. And first question we have to find c, second is what, we have to find this property, third is we have to find this property, conditional property. Okay, so we have to find three things here, so easily we can find all those things. So this, what is name of this equation? If you try to look what is name of this equation, if you, I'm extending it further, name of this equation is y equal to x, and we need few more equations. So what is name of this equation? It would be y equal to x by 2. And what would be name of this equation? 50% of this one, it will go like this way. It would be y equal to x by 4. So using all these geometric explanation, easily you can calculate all these. So take this problem as a homework and try to calculate all these things. Otherwise you can see geometrically I have already derived these things. So try to calculate. It is already over 45 minutes. So we'll cover all those things in next class. Regarding attendance, just